Fue en 2006 cuando publicó The Girl, su primera novela, y ahora Sonia Faleiro, periodista y escritora de la India, está presente en Hay Festival para comentarnos un poco sobre el ejercicio periodístico y una de sus más recientes publicaciones. Sonia, thank you very much for the interview. So, you have recently published Gaza, the story of a genocide. You have edited this book. What's the reflection? What's the general outlook of this book?
So, Gaza, the story of a genocide, is a collection of essays that I've edited along with the Pakistani writer and thinker Fatima Bhutto. And it is a collection that is written primarily by Palestinian writers. It also includes poets, novelists, artists, photographers, and some allies, for example, Joe Sacco, Mona Chalabi.
Certainly, this situation is a game changer on how we cover, how journalism is exerted. What reflections would you derive from this situation? How has journalism changed before this genocide?
I think one of the things that has become clear is that the Western media has an extremely strong bias against Palestine and against Palestinian people. And that is reflected in the journalism, which is essentially dishonest.
Under this scope, what would you learn? How could we understand the news that we learned some weeks ago about Anas al-Sharif's death and other 4 journalists of Al Jazeera?
I think it's extraordinary that the deaths of these journalists are not being taken seriously. But perhaps it's not so extraordinary because no death that has occurred in Gaza since the beginning of this genocide has been taken seriously.
And perhaps violence is arising before weakening institutions. What would be your reflection on how to exert journalism amid this situation? There is no protection, and there is no prestige, and there is still manipulation or biased messaging.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. I think journalism is in such a difficult place. Individuals who want to do on-the-ground reporting, individuals who want to represent the truth are finding that they're not supported by their media outlets, which means that they aren't being paid to do their job, or they don't have a place to put out their work. So journalism is in a very difficult position right now, or rather, I should say journalists. There are enough media out there who are putting out information. It's just that the information is not honest and it's often not accurate. So I think that we are going to see more independent journalists, more journalists going to YouTube.
What about audiences? What do you think of the current state of media literacy? Certainly there is a need of such a thing, given the fact that we are also competing as journalists with the generation of content via artificial intelligence.
Yeah. I think it's such a huge challenge because you do have a large number of people who are unable to differentiate between misinformation, disinformation, and the truth. And media literacy is incredibly important. It's one of the most urgent issues of our time as journalists. And of course, AI is a huge threat, not just to jobs, but I think much more significantly to the kind of information, the bad information that's been funneled out there. Again, I think people need to make sure that they choose their sources of news very carefully.
There is still another comparison that we can make regarding Gaza and another mediatic case, which is Ukraine's war as well. What similarities in terms of media coverage do you find?
It's such a great question. And you would know this, the difference in the kind of coverage is extraordinary. The world, through its support, rightfully, behind Ukraine, the world embraced the refugees who were forced out of Ukraine. Absolutely correct to do so. United States sanctioned Russia. Many other countries sanctioned Russia as well. That is absolutely the appropriate response to a senseless attack. And what we are seeing in Gaza is completely different. There is no global response, collective response that is condemning the state of Israel for its genocide. There are no sanctions. There is no accountability.